that 5, 4, 3, 2. Like I taught my students, you don't say the 2 and the 1 because the 2 and the 1 sometimes you got a sound editing thing. So you might go 5, 4. The day before you came. Matter of fact, the day you came, what day did you come on? You came Friday night, but came here Saturday, right? Okay. Friday night, you came into town to do the documentary, met with me Saturday, and when you met with me Saturday, I was getting phone calls on whether or not the star that I was writing this new movie for was dead or alive. I am Gary Davis. And Gary Davis does all kinds of wonderful things, and his big thing is taking nothing and out of nothing creating something.
You're born into some family, and I feel really bad for those who don't have any at all. Right. If you have one member, you have abundance, but because
you are listening to the classical sounds of WIVY, New York City. Next up, the news.
The fact is, that's what the show was about. It was about where are you placed, where you fit in, and all this other stuff that I was hoping that maybe we could talk about, whether it be smoking pot, which they didn't really get to for any of the characters, or
college football is back. 902-9147, 863.
This is a Florida canal. Florida canals equal alligators. Gators. Don't mess with the gators. Come in and sing a song. What's one of your songs you sing, honey? Honey.
Yeah, Gary. So when I first met Gary through my friend Mike, and I saw his stuff, I'm like, wow, this is the man right there. You know, he does amazing stuff, beautiful stuff. I've been working with other directors, and they're not as good as him. When he film, he can do it in one day. He can film a movie, and guess what? The next day, it's already edited. He does it fast.
Vinny had the woman pull over. Guess what? She wrote her digits on his hand. That damn Vinny was as smooth as they came.
He did it with this little cheap ass camcorder or something, but it looked so perfect.
He didn't have top of the line equipment. I remember the first movie he shot, it was like on a compact VHS, and I was just amazed at how he edited it. Back in the day, he used to go in the studio and edit audio. Yeah. He was editing video, and somehow getting it back in the reel, I don't know how the hell he did it, but it came out good. Really, man.
I met Gary. I met Gary. That he's really good, a producer guy. You know, I really love him. You know, he's a really good guy. And then basically, you know, like he told me about, I did a detective story with him, a movie, a detective story.
Everybody, drop those guns now. Put them all down. Vinny got plans, and so do the brothers. Maybe it's time for everybody to leave up out of here.
Martial arts is a philosophy, and I'm very philosophical, and I started teaching a philosophy, a way of life to make things better for people. That was my job, to teach you to be the best son, the best daughter, the best in high school, how to achieve. I taught how to make your life better, how to achieve things, how to go out and do. The art teaches us to go out and make things happen. That's what we learn.
Somebody grabs your wrist and you open it upward this way. They grab the wrist and you go this way. Close the books is they grab your wrist and you close down. Right. Open the books, close the books. So I say that to say that I don't have to come outside to practice. I practice all the time, everywhere. Yeah. Everything is practice. Everything I move is like part of me. You know. And that Bruce Lee stuff, you know, when you expand, bring air into your chest. And most people don't know that side of me. So they would catch bad breaks. The philosophy comes in handy in Canada. You turn your enemies into your friends, and you network. I wouldn't worry about throwing a lot of kicks and stuff at him, because I'm not brother. Grab him, and you close quarter.
Some people have different philosophies, and you got to make your philosophy work for you, whatever it is. For me, music and movies is the same thing. They're like merged together. They're like inseparable. I could do the music without the movies, but I can't do the movies without the music.
So The Rock, you know, Dwayne Johnson, he's one of the good guys, best actor that I never seen in my life. You know, when I saw him, I was like, wow, in shock. Because one time I was like, you know, with some friends like that, and they called me to go do like a magazine photo shoot. Yeah. So and then I was in LA, and he was in the Hard Rock over there in LA. So I was like, and then I see a lot of celebrity, and I'm like, Dwayne Johnson, no, and basically, and the thing is that nobody know his name. So then I'm like, hey, Dwayne. And he was like, looking, hey, what's up, Dwayne? I'm really fan of you, you know, I really like your movies, your style. Nice to meet you, man. Can I take a picture? Yeah, sure, come with me, buddy, come. I jumped over the red line like that, and I was with him and everything, and then like, he took me inside, he introduced me to everybody, you know. I was like, wow, I was in shock.
We're talking about him, and I find it very interesting that you're here, and it's about you. This documentary is really about you. You know that, right? You know that. I mean, it's about him, but it's really about you, because you're making a documentary about somebody's life that you're interested in. So why are you really here? You know, that's so interesting, Simon. I'm interested in that.
My name's Akiba Davis Tingling, and Gary Davis is my father.
So I remember one thing I said, you gotta have choreography. My daughter and Baby K and Baby Fresh, they had choreography and stuff for the moves.
Well, my dad put me into the music with poetry, so I did a little bit of rapping with him and singing. So I was known as Baby K.
My name is Baby K, that's right, I'm here to rock this joint. Party people get on the floor and let me prove this point. I'm not with it, faking, cash, I'm making. I feel alright, this bass is hype, so I'm saying to this town, get down.
What happened? Oh my God, I can't stand him. Want to leave me alone. I wish he never came. What did he do? He left me there. He was supposed to come get me for our date, and he just like stood me up, and I'm just standing there looking like a retard.
So I've done a lot of short films with Gary. Before I met him, I was actually working with a comedian, and that was comedian Super Fox.
They look at Super Fox when we tell you what I chose.
And then through Super Fox, Gary wanted to do some films with him, and then when Gary found out that I was doing modeling and about my past, he pulled me right in there with Super Fox.
You all right? Sherry. 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 Sherry.
I believe there were two projects at a time. One was Terrorism in the Sky, the other one was She's a Spy. And I just remember coming to this audition, not knowing what to expect, and ended up having a good audition, and he ended up wanting to cast me as a spy, a worldwide spy by the name of Eve Harrington.
You know, the way you and Anna and my son handled that, I would have thought you weren't working for an oil company. I would have thought you might be working for the CIA. It was that professional. Thanks.
Well, I ended up getting in a little trouble, ended up having, you know, some stuff like probation and stuff, and I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. Getting myself in trouble.
So, Corp, what's bothering you?
Just a lot to think about, Sarge.
You should be enjoying this party.
But actually hanging out with Gary actually helped me to see I could actually pursue and do the things that I want to do artistically.
I think that you need somebody there to do that. So that's really what he's been there for me, kind of like a father telling me, you know, because my biological father is more of a kind of a, he was a cop, he was a chief of police, so he was really strict. And he was, Boston and then came to Florida.
Ordinary chicken wings, extraordinary flavor. Footy Wing Sauce is made with a perfect blend of herbs and spices. So what are you waiting for? Pour it on. Footy's Wing Sauce guarantees you a better tasting chicken wing every single time.
So I came up with this concept of Taxman America early on when I started in the tax business, maybe about 6 years ago, and it really helped me to really get in the mode and to really, you know, really become the character to the industry that I'm in.
I'm Taxman America. When it comes to money, finances, and taxes, 365 days a year. I'm always trying to help somebody get their money back from the government, especially women, nurses, models, athletes, women of all kinds. I help people pursue life, liberty, happiness.
Want your money? Come real fast. Taxman America, Taxman America.
You know, but you liable to see, you know, there are raccoons out here, possums. I think otters. I think it was an otter in there one time. I seen an otter in there. You're liable to see anything, rabbits, squirrels. armadillos. Oh, I bought that brand new from the Suzuki dealer. 1986. Cars, trucks, no matter where you go, which way, there's something there. It's a story. In my neighborhood, when I first started doing music and things in my 20s, I was the educated one in college and everything, and so they called me the professor. I was a professor of music, so they nicknamed me the professor. It was a title that I embraced, so that when I started doing my thing, kind of sort of like an alter ego thing, I addressed myself as the professor. The professor wasn't Gary Davis, he was a different part of me. And the people that know me still was like, what, you the professor? You did that upstairs, downstairs, in your living room. The professor is here for you.
Upstairs, downstairs, in your living room. The professor's here to jam with you. The professor's here. The professor's here. He's the one who loves ya, baby.
He tried to steal a car and escape. Not this time, he was mine. He was going back to jail where he belonged. That night, I went to the club to celebrate. Fox was imitating the professor. He was doing a good job.
That was The Detective Story, which I co-produced, and he directed and produced it. And I was also like the lead star in it as well. It was a series of short films, and it was voice narrated, and he and I basically did the voice narrations as well.
Brock grabbed his guns and began firing. I stopped the young woman and asked to see what was in her bag. She wanted to show me she wasn't hiding anything under her breasts. And before I knew what was happening, she kissed me. I mean, really kissed me.
We worked with people that were in adult film. When I did The Detective Story, we had them added. I had them added in the film.
I met him through a couple of my friends that were in his movie, and then they introduced me to him, and then I ended up in the movies. The mutual friends were from porn, but I don't know if they were in the movie or not. I have no idea. Around that time, what was my job at that time? I was doing porn.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know.
We also worked in, I've worked in a project with him with Tarzan, Steve Hawks. He'd been in the media many times. He owned tigers in Loxahatchee. One of his tigers was killed by law enforcement, and he was on 2020 for being the person that owns tigers.
The Cats have always had their run of the place. They even sleep with Steve, who says he's protected by an extraordinary gift.
I have the sixth sense that always works for me. No tiger can come with the intent to hurt me without me waking up before that happens.
Get off of me! Get off!
Jerry had produced this one film, and I think either in the opening scene or like the first part of the movie, there's a jungle scene. And Gary takes a teddy bear and makes it look like a lion and goes, raw, throws it at the camera. And the artist takes it and goes, oh, hell no, I gotta get the hell out of here. And I still laugh my ass off.
We did a robbery scene in the mall where the cops actually thought it was a real robbery. They surrounded the place, and luckily I survived that one.
We've had red carpets that we've rolled out and have stuck to people's feet. We've had lions that we were fighting that were stuffed animal lions that, you know, on the movie screen from way far it looks good, you know. I mean, these are the, I guess, the perils of low budgets, you know. But the beauty of it all is the concept is there, the imagination is there, and the inspiration just lives on.
Do you really want to be into the acting? You know, it's a very up and down business. You have your highs, you have your lows. You're having to really go out there and sell yourself. Do you really want to do this? There's a chance that you may never make money. You may never see the top 1%. You may never be at the Matthew McConaughey or Robert Downey Jr. level.
All right.
But you know, Gary has been the one that came in there and says, so what?
It's all about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, you know. I know him, I have a lot of celebrity friends, you know. I mean, on Facebook, my Twitter, if you go on my Instagram, I got 16K, you know, 16.5K, you know. If you go on my Facebook, I got 16,000 friends, you know, on my friend. And I've been going all over, you know.
You were also telling me you're a bit of a social media star.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on my Instagram, I have over 1 million followers. On Twitter, 1.4 million. And Facebook, I have like 1.8 million. And I'm also verified. I have the blue check mark of a celebrity verified. And I'm big all over social media.
I don't know if you know this guy, the Playboy guy, Lou Hafner. Yeah, that's me and him and one of his girls. Yeah, you know, I mean, I know a lot of celebrity people, you know, what can I do about it, you know, me?
Oh, I don't have to say names? Okay, well, there is a very weird character, I guess you'll call it. A little bit of, I guess, not special needs, but just a special character. And just makes up a lot of, he acts like he knows everybody, but I don't really think he knows anybody. Like Hollywood actors or something, but I don't think he actually knows them.
I think that goes everywhere. You have UPS artists. I mean, that happens not only in Florida, but also if you go out to LA too. I mean, I've been out to LA too, so you'll always have, they call it like that guy. You'll have that guy that will make up the story and say things and, you know, will try to boost their credibility to make themselves sound big. You have the people out there that believe that if you say you're big and you lie about it, then you will become big. So some people will make up a story and then maybe try to blossom into that character.
Who are you?
Okay, John Schneider, same name as the actor from Dukes of Hazzard and Smallville and Country Singer and such.
Nice.
I'm none of those, I guess.
And how do you know Gary?
I know Gary through, I met him at WXEL television.
We showed, it was called Real Old Movies, spelled R-E-E-L, and we showed real old movies. They were all in public domain, so we didn't have to pay anybody for the movies, and we ran the movies late at night, and we would do shtick before the movies, and we would do something in the middle, and we would do something after the movie was over.
They would do little skits and related to the movie.
And the episode I remember the most was the Christmas episode, where we did Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. And he brought in just the most beautiful woman, and we gave her a name in the show. I don't remember what it was, her real name, but her show name was Honey, and the whole show kind of revolved around me just leaving everything behind and going after Honey. And then we did a whole Scrooge thing in the background where you know, Jacob Marley, the ghost, is supposed to come and say you're going to be visited by 3 ghosts. Well, With Willow Movies, we never had a budget, so we never know who was going to show up. So Jacob Marley didn't show up, but we had Bob Marley show up. And good old Gary, he was just sitting there in dreadlocks. So Gary came on and he was Bob Marley. And we had to coach him several times because his big line was to come out and say, "Tonight you're going to be visited by 3 ghosts, man. Not 1 ghost, not 2 ghosts, but 3 ghosts." And that was Gary's line, and I remember he had the dreadlocks, but we could not get the accent.
Now, listen, if you keep your ears open and your mouth shut, you might learn something here, boy. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah.
My name is Bob Butterfield. I'm the general manager here for CW34 Television, WTVX, for My15 Television, which is WTCN, and for Azteca 48, which is WWHB, the Spanish television station here for West Palm Beach. I met Gary in 2012 when he was doing business with our stations. He was buying half-hour time periods for his television show, the zombie series, the zombie TV series.
Run the sucker down if I have to.
I met him in 2012. We were on the ground floor, and right next door to us was the IRS office. And Gary came to us one afternoon to bring us a copy of his program or a check or, just to conduct business. And he had a tough time getting into our offices because the IRS officers took a look at Gary and his way he dressed and his dreadlocks and assumed that he was up to no good. So they threatened to call the police. And then at that point, I came back to the station and was told that Gary was outside having to deal with that issue. And I went out. When I explained to the officers that Gary was actually a client of the station, they were a bit surprised and realized that the IRS agents had profiled him and weren't going to let him into the building. It's troubling when somebody who's such an accomplished musician and a movie maker would have that kind of trouble, especially in a place like Palm Beach County, which is filled with a lot of eclectic kind of characters.
Well, I hate to tell you, but if I had to do it all over again, I would have never moved to Florida. I moved to Florida in 1984. Little did I know, it wasn't like New Jersey. These people around here is racist, man. And where I live, it was really, really racist. I was the first black family moved out here. They used to come here all the time and try to get me to tow my cars.
When I first moved here, this area and a lot of even where I live now was all completely woods. So really, when I first moved here, I would compare West Palm Beach to basically like an old hillbilly town. It was like basically like you even saw like Confederate flags. A house back near where I live behind it, they did something now you don't see do. They were burning their trash.
Oh, well, in this area, it definitely has changed over the years. It was very rural. There was cows and horses.
When I first moved to Florida, it was all farms pretty much and type of things like that, and it's all rebuilt.
Let's see, back then, they had a lot of shooting over there on the street where I lived at, well, 2 streets over. But other than that, it was more family life and everybody went to school or to work.
One of the things I learned when I first moved down here is it's a transient state, that there's so many people that move from other states to come here, whether it be the climate, location, family history. I'd say 60% of it climate. And people come here and they want to connect and they bring these stories, they bring this talent, they bring all these things from where they were from, and they have an opportunity to reinvent themselves the same way people do going to California.
Before 1984, you know what, I vaguely remember the 70s. I was born in 73. I can remember things were very divided when I was a kid. But even though things were segregated, I tend to think we were happier as people, as blacks. Desegregation opened the door within our own community to sort of sell out that community. No more ownership. You know, we have more stores. We own more of our community, which is probably one of the biggest pluses due to me having a little knowledge of segregation. I can remember taking walks down the streets within my own community and seeing people of color that own gas stations. We owned the apartment buildings that we lived in. We owned the clothing stores. We owned a lot. All of our teachers were black. We had a few white teachers, but mostly blacks. The school was actually ran by a black superintendent. It was more, times were more family-ish. Things were very, as minorities, we were more connected, I think, in the 70s.
This is called privacy. People drive past the house and don't even know I live here. That way people don't bother me like they used to, telling me that trying to get me to get out because I'm black, and calling code enforcement to make up stuff and find stuff to harass me. Because like now they would say, move that trailer, move them cars. You know what I mean? Move this, move that, do this, do that.
Very excited. Here, Bambi. Come, Dander. Come, Dancer. Come, Vixen. Come, Cupid. You too, Rudolph. Ooh, look at that. Look at, ready.
That's why I let my woods grow naturally, so you can't even see back there today, because all the harassment and stuff. Underneath of there is a 70-something Corvette Stingray.
Where'd you get the Corvette?
Oh, I bought that Corvette in probably around 90. Around 1990 maybe. See the Spider right there? See? But they used to come here, you gotta get rid of cars. You can't have cars on the lot. They all gotta run, they all gotta do that. Made me get rid of my 46 DeSoto.
Wait, who said that?
The county code enforcement. So the realtors said, hey, black family live on there, send the realtors go in there and incite them, chase them away, you know, so.
Last night, federal authorities captured the infamous Caribbean crime boss, Emilio Fernando Gonzalez. Authorities fear that rival cartel members will go after his young wife of 16 years old to take over his operations.
First and foremost, Gary Davis is, you can say you can almost say almost half a century, because his music's been out there since probably a little close to or a little over 40 years. So from that, he's got such a great crossover from his original beginnings with like disco, and then after, the funny thing is, like, I've watched other documentaries on Miami bass. So he moved to Florida at a time when there was this new genre of music that was coming up called Miami bass, which you can say pretty much South Florida, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami-Dade, they were all pretty much involved in coming up with this genre, this newer genre of music, which took maybe disco and you know, did different things to it and had a few more different loops to have a new sound.
Booty shake, a lot of big booties, a lot of up-tempo calypso music, a lot of reggae, large bass type drums and bass.
I mean, they spoke what was on their mind, and it was just fun. They just made you get out and jam to it. Like, ooh, better not let my mama hear that though.
Yeah, all the major people that were doing Miami bass at the time Gary moved down here, he pretty much connected with.
Oh, my dad has always been into music, writing, producing, always playing the piano at the house. It's music, nothing but music.
And with my history in New Jersey with Chaka Star and records and selling records and stuff and the pop and all that kind of stuff, I said, I'm gonna do the same thing in Florida. So I went to the guy at the record station and said, hey, look, what's happening? I want to meet people around here. I want to start Chaka Star up. Let's do this here stuff. The guy from POM, he ran the record shop, King's Record Shop, 45th Street in West Palm. He said, hey, look, man, I do the show with the radio station on Sunday nights. Come and I show you these good cats. Who did I meet? I met Cooley C and KJ.
My name is Keith DJ KJ Jones, better known as one half of KJ and the Fellas, better known as one half of DJ KJ and MC Cooley C. Better known as Super Lover KJ from Miami radio days. And it's a culmination of everything, and that's who I am. You know, basically, when I moved down from New York in the early 80s, I was a DJ on a radio station, WPOM. And Gary was a musician, and at the time, Gary had all the equipment.
Right.
What's in here again? That is where the 8-track is.
You know, we're like 18, 19-year-old kids. All I had was a belt. I didn't even have Technics 1200s. I had like a belt drive turntable, and it was just real Matchbox. And Gary was like, hey, you know, you guys should get into recording. And we went over to his house, and he had like a raw, what you would call vintage studio. Like, you know, he was a real musician, so he had a real piano, he had a keyboard, and he had like a basic little 4-track recorder. And that's basically how my whole music career started outside of DJing. We recorded our first demo at Gary's studio and then took it to Luke Skywalker Records.
Yeah, hello, Luther. Yeah, this is Phil from the record company. Yeah, I'm just calling to see how the Two Live Crew song for the new We Are the World album is coming.
Oh, man, it's going pretty good, Phil. You know, I'm putting the finishing touches on the song right now, man.
Well, I was a local DJ at the skating rink at the for the radio station, and Luke and Two Live Crew came there to do a show.
This is a multi-millionaire, and he's going to jail. You know why? He's Luther Campbell, and he heads Two Live Crew, and they're upset in Florida. The cops not only busted the rock group, they busted a record seller for selling their albums. Show them the tape, Brian.
Step on the track, you know you need to quit. Come on, baby, because we can do this. We need info,
Okay, if you'll all turn your hymnals to page 26, I think we can get on.
Well, I mean, it was wild, it was raunchy, but we still loved it.
We presented Luke with a demo at the show. You know, it's just like the old school. You know, listen to my demo. We gave him the tape.
We got to make a move right away. We will.
We gave it to him. We went back. We did a few more tracks with Gary.
In my daughter's room, I turned it into my 4-track studio with my equipment from New Jersey, and we started doing our first recording sessions and getting it together.
A couple of weeks later, Luke calls us up. We're all in studio, and you know, it kind of rolled from there.
Wow, we got a big connection. We can sell records and buy records, sell records. We can promote these kids around here. I can produce their records. You can sell them in the record store. Hey, this could be pretty good. It worked in New Jersey. Let's do the same thing, you know? And
from there, we got our first record deal.
Which demo was that?
That was Cheryl and Donna. I did Cheryl and Donna. I also produced a number of songs with them. I was a staff producer. Another record label, Foresight Records, where I actually had my biggest song, that was Get Retarded.
Hey, yo, let's get retarded now that the party started.
A lot of people have come across my father, and my father's made a great experience on them. So it's different people, producers, artists that he's worked with. I know his uncle's Grover Washington as well, so.
Well, I got started with Gary Davis. I was working at McDonald's, and there was this guy, and he knew music, and I knew I wanted to get into music. Didn't know anything about music. Yeah, he was the manager. I think he doesn't remember it because he's talking about he came back, but he worked there. I met him because he was my boss. He was the manager at McDonald's. That's how I met him.
I worked for some fast food companies. I won't mention any names. I learned how to do what I do and be the quintessential promoter and promote myself and all that stuff from one of these fast food companies. And the reason why I won't mention their name, even though in some ways they were the best company I worked for and taught me a lot, is because they didn't have any black managers. They feared me and was scared of me, and then they started stereotyping me, and it was a nightmare.
You know, I was all about it, so I'm sure I was there beatboxing on the headphones for the McDonald's thing, and he heard me, like when people are trying to take orders and stuff, I'm sure I was probably doing some stuff like that, beating beats on the countertop and rapping and all that stuff. So he told me he was involved in music. So I just looked at it as an opportunity. It was the first studio I ever went in was with him, and that was the first time I ever touched a turntable to lay down some scratching on a record was with Gary Davis. Well, around here, at that time, because this is very early, like Miami already had like 2 Live Crew was like the one that was like really knocking. And as far as West Palm is concerned, Cooley C and KJ were like the ones, because they were on Luke Skywalker at that time. It was before they got sued and had to change to Luke Records. It was called Luke Skywalker Records. Cooley C and KJ actually had one of the first records, like I think Throw the D and Ghetto Bass came out, and then the second record was Cooley C and KJ, who were from West Palm Beach. That's when I first thought, wow, I don't have to be from New York or California to do this. I could be right here where I'm at.
Gary Davis is one of the pioneers, I think, of hip hop. And they were more mindful of politics. Hip hop now has become, the generation has changed. And the younger kids now, they're not mindful of politics. They're more into entertainment, fun. Who's sleeping with this person, who has the most money, who can go to the strip club, have more fun, who has more jewelry, it's all about who has more.
I do music on the sides too. I do music with Justin Bieber, and with Gary I do mostly the movies.
Tell me more about Justin Bieber.
Yeah, so I met Justin Bieber through a friend of mine, Steven. He introduced me to him, and then we started doing music together in the same studio in Los Angeles. And he's a good guy, you know. I always see him when he comes here or when I go there. He picks me up and we chill, we hang out. He's a nice guy.
Moments before Justin Bieber was arrested, home surveillance video shows a yellow Lamborghini speeding down Pine Tree Drive on Miami Beach with a black Escalade next to it. Just behind, a red Ferrari, followed by another black Escalade. And 5 seconds later, a Miami Beach police car.
Yeah, we were here together in Miami Beach when he crashed the Lamborghini. We were right there and then he got arrested.
I used to play stuff. My wife used to sing those songs, and then we stuck them on her. She's singing background or something on one version of "Gotta Get Your Love," I think. But once I moved to Florida, it was my wife. My wife sang a lot of background stuff.
Jealous?
Yeah, she's like the quintessential background singer in a lot of stuff.
And of course, what she's doing all this time is just luring him in. And he gets in there, and I'm telling you, they must have made the most magnificent love that has ever been known by man. Ah, just fantastic.
You know, I enjoy my film work with Gary, and we have so much fun together doing these films. And I meet people through Gary. And you know, one of the people I met, two of the people I met through Gary have passed away. And you know, one of the things of it is, like I told him, I said, we've gotten to experience the highs of going out there playing pretend doing our acting, playing a world and doing these characters and things on camera. And you know, he and I shared, I mean, a memory that I'll never forget, being in the media, being in the paper together, and he and I on the cover, and you know, me pointing at him pointing at me, and then he and I jumping in the cover of Live Wellington.
In my personal life, I lost family members. My first cousin at 50, I guess he's around 56 years old, got murdered in Camden last year. And his son was murdered. And yeah, he was murdered with guns violence, Camden, gun, hood violence. The father got murdered last year. The son got murdered several years ago when I was teaching school. My first cousin lost her son. In one family, the father and son got killed, and my first cousin. Then my other set of cousins, Groove Holmes' grandson, got murdered on his mom's on Mother's Day in Camden about 2 or 3 years ago. His grandson got murdered. Then his great grandson.
Well, you know, I didn't kill him. I just shot him. You know, just knock him down. Yeah.
The house got firebombed, and he wound up getting killed in it, and his girlfriend in Camden.
9th and Sheldon. Yeah, they're gonna be 3. You come on, come on. Sit in the curb, come on.
You're in the area 9th and Sheldon.
Oh, yeah, come on, sit in the curb. Cross your feet, come on. Sit on the curb, bro.
Crazy drama. Crazy drama. Crazy drama. Yeah. But the thing is that, okay, so in the last several years, 4 cousins get murdered, all in Camden.
I want you to keep an eye on my cousin. I'm the only family that he's got left.
So, you know, the life, whatever, the hood, the stuff that happens, and then one of my stars gets murdered in Miami.
Elliot, because there was just so much gunfire, investigators actually had to block off a majority of the neighborhood with crime tape while they collect bullet casings and other evidence. Residents out here say they're used to hearing gunshots in the area, but never this many.
So, am I desensitized to it? Of course I'm desensitized to it. Does it hurt me and kill me? Of course it does. And then I'm finding out the day that I finished writing the script on Thursday. Our wonderful documentary filmmaker Simon Mercer comes into town and meets with me, comes in town Friday, and I believe he landed in Miami. And they find my friend dead, that's been dead for a day or something, shot up, as I hear. Saturday, I find out about it.
In Miami?
In Miami, yeah, this happened in Miami, yeah. Then I find out about it, his thing, yeah. I find out he was found in a room, shot up in Miami.
One of our most fabulous stunt actors was B1. He really, that was a really beautiful, interesting soul, and knew how to take a bunch of people that didn't know what the heck they were doing and give you some good moves and really get, really help you make it happen.
Colonel, sir.
Corporal, at ease. I need a report on the tank we found.
Sir, we don't know how to work the tank. It's been years since we've seen something like this.
I need this thing operational, and I need it operational now. Go find a damn manual and get that thing going.
He's like B1, he's always in the background practicing his ninja with himself. He's air battling, and it's just hilarious. And we have so much fun on set. And I think the diversity is what makes it fun too, because we all just really have a great time. It doesn't even feel like we're working, so.
You're gonna make it. No. No. No!
We're watching all the old movies and learning from them and seeing what we got to do to improve. And you see B1 fighting and threaded through all these movies that we're watching. Like I said, it's 10 movies. B1's been in 10 movies of mine. And it was great to do the 11th one. Irreplaceable. Tomorrow's not promised to us. Tomorrow's not promising. Don't tell me what we're gonna do tomorrow. What can we do now? I got so much I want to do before I leave up out of here.
And you know, we have those good memories, but then we also have the memory of having things that are real life. You know, going to see somebody that we worked with that, in a coffin that passed away, and having to be there and kind of mourn over one of the local actors, two of the local actors now that have passed away. So you know, I say that's why in a way I told him sometimes I'm not always able to be in his films because I'm trying to. I feel like these people that I've met, their souls are with me, and I want to do something big, whether it's with Gary, he and I doing something big, or it's with Hollywood. Like I auditioned for a Matthew McConaughey movie. All right. And I have my fingers crossed. I've been praying. I've been telling people to pray for me that I get this role because it would be something big for me. And I feel like not only is it my, you know, like when I first got into the acting, I felt, oh, sorry. Sorry, I won't hit it.
Taking somebody like me then and turning me into I don't want to say fighting machine because the essence, like me and B1 said in the movie and stuff, the essence is to turn your enemies into your friends.
If it weren't for our enemies, who now happen to be our friends, I wouldn't even be here right now. None of us would. So Colonel, please do not concern yourself. I will handle it. You're dismissed.
It's not about fighting. It's about taking nothing and creating something out of nothing. That's the magic of being a grandmaster. You won when you turn an enemy into your friend. That's winning. Taking film and blank tape and turning it into a documentary. That's magic. But you practice where you practice with him. You know. So
when you're a small entity, you know, 1 or 2 people operation, then whatever happens to you impacts what it is that you dreamt about.
You know, when I first got into the acting business, I felt like I wanted to get famous. I wanted to have the accolades because I want to do it for me, you know, because it's for me. But now I feel like as I've worked with Gary and I've met all these people who passed away, I feel like it's much bigger than me. I feel like it's Gary, it's the people that I've worked with that have passed away. I feel like I'm kind of, if I get the Matthew McConaughey role, if not, I'm going to continue going, you know, because one of the things Black Mask told me, who passed away, he was a rapper who passed away, was he told me, keep pushing. That was his last word to me. So I kind of remembered that, and I've said to myself, okay, so now it's like I can't give up because I take these people with me. So, you know, so I do hope that, you know, that I do something big because no, because I do hope that I wind up doing something big because it's not only about me. I feel like it's about some of the relationships and some of the people that I met through Gary that passed away.
Bars I invented, all the way from seminaire to seminaire, transmission I got your internet to the air. We're in Union Force, Union fell out force, we're not with cross. It's been a while.
And I feel like if I do get the accolades, if I do make it to doing something big in the Screen Actors Guild, if I do get the role in the Matthew McConaughey movie or something else that comes to Florida, then I feel like not only am I doing it for myself, but I'm taking the souls that we lost, B1, Black Mask, Gary Davis, and anyone else who I've met through him that I've worked with and had a relationship with. I feel like I'm taking everybody with me in doing it. So I don't feel anymore like it's about me. I feel like it's bigger than that, and that's why I want it. That's why I want it so bad. You know, and that's why I push for it, and that's why I'm here today, and that's why I continue going, and I'll be out there doing 18 hours on set until the day I'm not here on this earth. I feel like now, you know.
It's not just about the money, it's just about the friendship, you know. Friendship is more important. When you start from the bottom, You need to start from the bottom. You start going up, you know, and then that's where you become the really good people. That's where you become the best inside, you know. That's the most thing. It's not only about the business. It's about the friendship that you have, you know. The friendship is more important about everything else, you know.
Yeah.
When you have friendship, you're good to go for everything, you know.
Candidates campaign, the Haitian American pop bottles of champagne. You just 2010 Haitian pain and the end like Noah's Ark after 10 years of rain.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
It just showed me that there's so much more to life. There's your hobbies can, you know, actually be your future. You know, you can build from the things that you're great at.
Do what you love. So what if you're not at the top? You did what you enjoyed doing. Forget about the money. Money is a piece of paper. Who cares?
I go back to radio in South Florida, and I end up starting what's called the Grown and Sexy Cruise. And we've grown into like one of the largest theme party cruises in the world.
5 big nights of the biggest theme parties at sea, including the Great Gatsby, the Flintstones, the annual All-In White Party, and the King of Zumanda invites you to his Dashiki affair Friday. And the whole ship is trying to find out whose cabin Tupac and Biggie is in.
So, you know, hey, that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm doing.
They can't do a microphone drop. I can't really run because I'm attached to the mic. Okay, now I can do it.
So me, I like to take nothing and out of nothing create something. I like to take that little kid that reminds me of me when I was 5 or 6 years old, 7, 8, 9, running through Camden, New Jersey, from all the bullies and stuff, running through the hoods and stuff, being bullied and things.
And I hope, I haven't told Gary I'm inviting him yet, but I know that I want Gary Davis to be there at the premiere if I get this big role, because I want him to share in on this honor with me.
Well, I stay all around you so long. You want me to keep looking, boy, you got me cooking. Baby, I need you once again. I'm a fool for your love. I forgot this part.
Last night I saw you again. Oh, I begun to wonder once more. How can I forget you? And how can I let you go? Baby, I need you once again. Now that I have you again, oh, I'll stay all around you some more.
I mean, I believe if he did a love story, sooner or later someone's gonna turn into a vampire or a zombie.